Hey guys, it's Corey Scott here digitally once again to speak to you on Al Gore's Internet. Just as a little pre-warning for the speech, I just got off a 48-hour work shift, so if I seem a little jittery, it's because I've consumed way more caffeine than a human being should. Each year in the US, firefighters respond to 1.6 million fire calls. The majority of them are domestic house fires. On average, about 3,000 deaths a year are attributed to fire. Today I want to talk to you about how technology has evolved the fire service, how infrared technology specifically has led to countless lives saved, and how a new discovery made by the Italian Ministry for Research and University will take that technology so much further. New forms of technology have always played a vital role within the fire service. With each new tool comes faster ability to work and less casualties lost as a result. Firefighting itself goes back to ancient Egypt and Rome. However, back then, firefighters fought a fire very differently. They would basically take buckets of water from a water source, throw it on the building, and then have to run back and fill up the buckets again and do the same thing over and over and over. It took a long time, and usually the burning building just ended up getting torn down by the firefighters so that it wouldn't spread to others and take out a whole city and town. Most homeowners lost their buildings completely as a result. Nowadays, however, because of more and more technology, the fire service has been able to become a lot more efficient and save a lot more lives and property. Water pumps are one of the biggest forms of technology that has really grown over time. They allow firefighters to pull water from local systems and pressurize them as needed. They're built into the fire trucks themselves, so when you see a hose get hooked up to a hydrant, they're actually sucking the water out of the system and they're pressurizing it. This allows firefighters to pull off multiple lines and go up elevation as needed. In high-rise buildings, this is a big, big plus. Steel ladders are another form of technology that firefighters use every day. They allow them to gain roof access and give another form of egress for victims to pull them out or for firefighters to go in and out of different floors. Motorized saws have also been big and allow firefighters to properly ventilate buildings to put out the fires and to clear away pieces of structure when somebody gets trapped or to get into a room they need to get into. Nomex is a new discovery within the last couple decades that is heat and flame resistant. This is what a lot of firefighters' gear, boots, gloves are made out of, so they're able to get in near the fire without getting burned. This keeps them safe and also allows them to get further and further into buildings to rescue victims, which firefighters of years past wouldn't have been able to do. Another important thing that goes hand in hand with Nomex is a self-contained breathing apparatus. This is the scuba-looking tanks that you see firefighters walking around in. You may think it's oxygen, but really it's compressed air, and it allows firefighters up to 30 minutes, depending on department to department, 30 minutes of clean air to be able to breathe in while they're in a smoke-charged building. This is big because firefighters from back decades past, before the breathing apparatus, could only really go into a building for about a minute, maybe 2 minutes, before the smoke inhalation got to them and they had to pull out. Most firefighting back then was done from the outside, where they would just spray water on the building, and no houses really ever got saved back then. Thermal imaging devices are one of the newest forms of technology that is arguably the most effective. They came around the fire departments in the late 90s. They were originally invented by the military and used by the military still today. They basically render infrared radiation as visible light. This allows rescuers to see through smoke and darkness. It basically shows you heat. So a firefighter will use the camera, scan a room, and different objects with different heats will show up as a different color on the screen, so they can differentiate between victims and fallen ceiling pieces and pipes and stuff like that. They'll look through a room filled with smoke and they'll see a person at 98 degrees, hopefully, and that'll show up as a certain color in the shape of a human body, and they'll be able to get to that right away, even though with the naked eye you would never be able to see anything. It can also find a source of fire, which surprisingly isn't that obvious. Normally in a building fire, the whole entire building is charged with smoke, and you can't really find the seat of the fire that the firefighters need to get to put out But with the camera, they're able to see these high temperatures and go straight to it. This allows them to put the fires out a lot quicker and avoids any more life loss or property loss. These thermal imaging cameras have been used since 1997. However, they do have their limits. They use heat to draw a picture of the room, but can't see lower heat objects behind higher ones. So basically, in a room filled with fire, if there was a person behind the fire somewhere, the firefighters wouldn't be able to see it because the thermal imaging device picks up the heat, and that heat from the fire would overwhelm the whole picture. They wouldn't be able to see anything under 500 or 600 or however high the fire is. They wouldn't be able to see anything under it. The Italian ministry has discovered that it's possible to view a live hologram of a room and its contents. How they do this is first they disperse a beam of infrared light throughout a room. It scans the room. Then it reflects back off objects to the source and is recorded by a holographic imager. After that, it's decoded to a live picture to reveal objects behind the smoke and fire. They're also optimistic that they may soon be able to allow this beam to pierce through walls and objects so that firefighters would be able to find victims maybe hidden in a closet or under a bed or wherever else that they can find them immediately. This new device will also be important to the biomedical field, where doctors will be able to view body organs non-invasively. They can find the problems with someone's liver or someone's heart without having to do surgery, which will be big. In conclusion, we all know more about the research done by the Italian Ministry in Research and University. Today I wanted to inform you, my audience, of the uses of infrared digital holography and its effects on the fire service. We talked about technology and the evolution of the fire service, infrared technology and its life-saving abilities, and infrared digital holography and its effects to an almost perfect system. Any questions or comments, feel free to post them on YouTube. I'll answer them right away. Thank you guys very much. I hope you enjoyed my speech.